Okay, so I don't normally make videos like this, but today has been absolutely 500% insane, and I need to tell you about this. I spent all day on tech support with Rogers over the internet, and I don't even know where to start. I gotta tell you this story. This is crazy. Okay, so last night, I was trying to do a live stream, my Hitbox streams of video games and stuff over on Hitbox TV, link in the description, and I was dropping frames like crazy, like it just wasn't uploading right. So I did a bunch of troubleshooting with Hitbox to see if it was on their end, if their servers are weird, and turns out it wasn't, and it wasn't on my end either. It seemed like it was on Rogers' end, the people who provide my internet. So that was all annoying and everything, so I contacted their support Twitter the next morning, which was today, this morning. I contacted them, and we quickly have to move things to DMs to talk a little bit, to direct messages, so they can figure out exactly what the problem is. And I explained to them, like, there seems to be outages in these areas. This one website is saying there are outages. It seems like I only drop frames in when I do something really big. And they're like, well, when did this problem start exactly? And I said, well, on Saturday is when it started, actually, when I tried to upload a whole bunch of YouTube videos, and the upload time took forever, even though my internet should be a lot faster than that. And they're like, well, that's strange. We're looking at your account and everything. And I brought up a few times, like, I'm supposed to get 20 megabit per upload, or per second upload. I brought that up a few times, and we talked for a little while, and they said, okay, well, we're gonna remotely do something with your modem. I was like, okay. So they did something, and they said, okay, we think we fixed the issue. Your modem should restart on its own, but if it doesn't, unplug it for a minute and plug it back in. So I waited a few minutes, and it didn't restart on its own, so I unplugged it and plugged it back in after a minute, just like they said. The whole thing cycled through. I did a test stream, nothing worked. It was the same issue as before. So I told them, like, hey, that didn't work, sorry, I did another test stream, seems to be the same issue, and they're pretty confused, like, that should have worked. So they asked some more regular questions, you know, what kind of connection are you using, all the kinds of that stuff. I listed all of my hardware and everything, and they were quite impressed by it, and they said, don't really know what the issue is. We're going to escalate this internally to tech support. So I messaged them again later because Fatima Fatima's my fiance, she's at work. She got a call from Rogers that she missed because she was working. So I contacted them and I said, the number that you called, that person's at work right now. Do you want my number so you can call me instead? And they said, well, that's funny. We don't have anything on the record about anyone getting called under that number. I was like, well, that's strange. I guess it was just coincidental. And they had me fill out a form with some account information to make sure that I'm me. So I logged in and I filled out that information and they accepted it. So, and this is around the point when every single time I message them, they take an hour or two to get back. Like, they're really scrambling to figure out what's going on. So I brought up a few more times, like, you know, hey, by the way, I'm only getting 10 megabit per second upload when I should be getting 20. Like, is that normal? Is that getting fixed? And eventually the guy responded by saying, it turns out on your account you only have the 100U package, whereas the 250U package is the one that will give you 20 megabit per upload. And he said, by the way, this is the address we're looking at on a map right now. So, first of all, I double-checked my account, and no, I have the 250U package, that's what I'm paying for. But what really struck me was the address they listed. They didn't list my address. They listed my mother's address. So a little context for anyone who doesn't normally watch the channel for these kind of vlog things. 2.5 weeks ago, I moved into this apartment here in Mississauga with my fiance. My mother, where I used to live with her a few weeks ago, she lives all the way over in Toronto. We're both in Ontario, Canada, so she's a whole city away. Somehow Rogers thought that I was my mother and was doing all of this stuff to her internet. So I text my mother and I say, Mom, did your internet go out at all today for a few minutes? And she said, yeah, it went out for a few minutes. Why, did that happen to you? And I said, Mom, I need to call you. I called her up and I said, Mom, they tried to restart my modem. Did they try and restart your modem around this time? And she said, yeah, that's when my internet went out. They genuinely, for some reason, think that I am her. That me on Twitter is her account, even though I gave them my account information to verify where I am. It's just the most baffling thing. And I was trying to think, like, why would it be that they think, like, the account isn't even under my name, so we don't even share a last name. Like, I share a last name with my mother, but it's not under my name, it's under my fiance's name, and we're not married yet, she doesn't have my last name. So what's going on? And I realized it was Twitter. I tweeted at Rogers about a year ago when I used to live with my mom, complaining about something with the internet, and they fixed it for me over Twitter. They attached a year ago my Twitter to her internet account, and despite me telling them otherwise, assumed that I still live there even though I gave them a different account number. And the crazy thing is, I said this started Saturday, and my mom said, oh my god, because she was trying to order a movie through Rogers on Saturday. And the tech support guy she got, that she called up for an unrelated reason, she said the movie wasn't working, so she called the tech support guy, and he kept insisting, he kept saying, oh my god, you've got a real problem with your internet lines. And she's like, not really, my internet seems fine. And he's like, are you sure you haven't been using it enough or something? And she's like, no, I use my internet all the time. Like, seriously, there's nothing wrong. And she was like trying to convince this guy, like, no, nothing's wrong. And he's like, no, we need to send it to technician. So she's like, all right. So they sent out a technician, and the technician showed up, and he's like, no, all this is fine. Like, your internet's totally fine. Like, you're not getting all these channels you're supposed to be getting for some reason on your digital box, though. It's not working right. So she's not getting any channels, but they kept saying, your internet's real messed up. And what we realized is, somehow, not just that they think that my account is her account, they think that her account is my account. It's both ways. Now, if they attached my Twitter to her internet account and thought that she was still me, then I can see that under a really weird circumstance. I can see that. But how the hell did they think that my account is hers? There's no connection. We've been living here for 2.5 weeks. It's under my fiance's name, not even my name. In what possible way is it connected? This is the craziest thing in the world. I'm still talking to them right now. I've got it on my other monitor. The last thing they said to me was that there appears to be some confusion, and they asked for more account information, which I just gave them. Fatima doesn't even know yet. She's still at work. I need to explain this whole thing to her. This is the most insane situation I've ever heard of. This is crazy. So they think that we're each other. Does that mean that her internet plan is my internet plan and she just got a better internet plan? Does that mean that I'm gonna get charged for the movie she tried to get? And the real kicker is, when she tried to order that movie, the account number that showed up wasn't her account number, and it wasn't my account number. She got some random other person's account number. I have no idea what's going on. I still haven't heard the end of this yet. I'll make a part 2 of this vlog whenever this thing gets resolved. But hey, if you've had any weird stories with Rogers internet, or even just your internet in general where you live, let me know in the comments section, because I've got to compare notes. I've got to see if anyone's got as crazy a story as this. This is awesome. If by the time you watch this video, I have a follow-up video explaining the ending of this story, I'll put it in the description of the video and like in an annotation on screen or something. So until next time, stay tuned with me on Twitter in the description. I'll try and live tweet what's going on. Have a nice day.